Hello there, wonderful human being, and welcome to this episode of Vagina Truth Bomb, the podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to tune in with me today. And I just want to say what an absolute privilege it is to have you with me. You are very welcome here, and I really hope that you get to the end of this episode receiving lots and lots of value. Okay, so let's start off by acknowledging that it's been a good few weeks since my last episode, and the reason for that is because I have been busy. It's August, isn't it? So I don't know. I think for the vast majority of people that I know, August is a little bit of a strange month because it's summer holidays, different opportunities and situations come up. So I've been busy with work, which has been really lovely. I've been busy with friends and family, and I've actually been busy and occupied with spending lots of time with my nibblings. So nibblings is the collective term for my nieces and nephews. It is actually a thing. I had to look it up because I got sick of saying my nieces and nephews, so I now refer to them as my nibblings. And yeah, I've had some wonderful time with those guys. They've been on the school holidays. I've seen them together, I've seen them separately, and I just love them to bits. And I could genuinely do a whole other podcast about how amazing my nibblings are, what I learned from them, just how great they are, how much they enrich my life. But I won't do that. I will stick with Vagina Truth Bomb. I am committed. And oh yes, another thing that I have been busy with, which is really, really cool, is on Sunday, just gone, I hosted the very first Vagina Truth Bomb Connection Circle, and it was amazing. I was so pleased with it, and we had a really nice little group. There's a little intimate group of us, and the focus was on self-celebration, so celebrating ourselves and things that are good about us and our achievements and what's going well for us. And it was a really, really amazing session. It was such a fabulous start to a Sunday. So we started off with a really nice, juicy, open discussion about self-celebration, whether we do it, whether we don't do it, why we don't do it, what's icky about it, all the emotions and the conditioning that comes up, how we feel when other people self-celebrate, how we feel about celebrating other people. Oh, we talked about so much. It was such a powerful discussion. Then we had a really lovely embodied session where we did a little bit of, just connecting with the body, and I shared some affirmations around self-celebration, and they are in my community as well. I've shared them in there, so if you're a member of that, you'll have seen them, or you'll be able to get access to them. And then we ended up making space for each of us to self-celebrate, and it was wonderful. So big thank you to those of you listening who joined, and there are other connection circles planned. The link for them will be in the show notes, as well as the link to my free community as well, where you'll be able to find out about everything VTB. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about the body, the wonderful, beautiful, amazing, intelligent body that is my body and your body. And in particular, we're going to start talking about how the body works. And there's going to be some truth bomb drops in this, because a lot of the time we go about our lives unquestioning a lot of things. We are told things, we believe them, we have no reason to doubt it, and they just go through, we go on unquestioning them. And in order for us to start to change the narrative, we need to start questioning certain things, and in some cases we need to start unlearning what we think we knew to be true. And this is particularly key when it comes to how the medical model, the Western medical model, views the body. And the truth is that our society and this Western medical model view that we have of the body greatly undermines its intelligence. And it does this by segregating the body into separate pieces, separate systems. And, one example of this is the different consultants and specialists you can see. So if you have an issue with your womb or your reproductive organs, you go to a gynecologist. If you have an issue with your skin, it's a dermatologist. If it's your brain, it's a neurologist, etc., etc. And there's very little connective work going on. We are sent to the department that it is believed is causing us the issue. And there's not this complete lack of holistic view. And this isn't just in the medical community, it's also in the pharmaceutical community as well. We get headache tablets and targeted tablets for certain parts of the body, but also in the beauty industry. When we talk about, skincare, a lot of the time skincare products are aimed at the face. When, if you talk about your skincare routine, the majority of the time that's interpreted as your face care routine, rather than the understanding that your skin is all over your body and that your skin is connected to other systems as well. So it's very easy for us to start to view our body in this segmented way. And this isn't helpful because it takes away a lot of the body's intelligence, because your body is such a complex, intelligent, amazing piece of equipment that when we start to look at it in these separate ways, it's completely undervaluing its ability. So this is why the Western medical model struggles to get to, quote unquote, the root causes of lots of conditions, because it's just looking at one piece rather than the whole jigsaw, so to speak. So it's really important for us here in the Vagina Truth Bomb community to understand that the body is an ecosystem. Everything in it works together. And for those of you who are aware of the term homeostasis, you will appreciate that that is the case. So homeostasis comes from the Greek word for same or steady, and it refers to the process where living things actively maintain a stable environment within themselves that's necessary for survival. So when we're looking at the human body has a self-regulating process that allows it to maintain some stability whilst adjusting to any changing and external conditions. So we know from that the body is constantly evolving, and it's not a stagnant process. It's regenerational, and whatever external conditions you bring to the body, it's going to try all the time to keep that steady process of itself working. So it's really important that when you're looking at your body, whatever your health challenge is, that you look at it holistically and understand that every system is involved in your health and your well-being and your healing and your thriving. And I always smile when I start to say this, because those of you who have worked with me before or been in my space for a while now, guarantee you'll have heard me talking about this. If you're with me, if you've been with me before, say it along with me. But it's really important that you understand that no system in the human body ever works alone, ever gets injured alone, or ever heals alone. So all together now, I want us to say it, repeat it after me, because it's so important that you understand this. No system in my body ever works alone, ever gets injured alone, or ever heals alone. This is such a big piece for us to digest and learn, because, as I said at the beginning, we are programmed to see the body in separate parts. You go to the doctor, you've got a sore throat, they look at your throat. And I'm not saying that that's the wrong thing for them to do, but we are just programmed and conditioned to see it as not whole, and that isn't, nothing is going to happen from that. We really need to understand, when we are addressing dis-ease within the body, when we're addressing pain within the body, that we need to look at the whole body as an ecosystem in order to be able to create health, balance within the body. Now, if we just think about this for a moment, going back to no system in the body working alone, getting injured alone, or healing alone, your breath is a really good example here. So we know that, we breathe a lot. We're breathing all the time. And I think it's an average of 22,000 breaths a day that we're taking, that, a lot of the time we're not even having to think about the fact that we have to breathe. So from a common sense point of view, for how we breathe and the quality of breath that we're taking is going to impact on everything else in our body. It makes sense. If you're not breathing optimally, then all the processes that the body needs from breath aren't optimized, and therefore your body's not getting the oxygen it needs, the movement it needs, and things aren't working optimally. So the other systems in your body are going to be impacted by that. So really important that we understand that the body is an ecosystem. Now, as we have that understanding now that we need to look at the whole picture, and in this, when I'm talking here, I'm talking about the body, just the body at the moment. When I'm talking about looking at things holistically, I'm referring to holistically within the body. I know there's lots of other things that we need to look at, but for the sake of this episode, I'm just focusing on the human body. So now that we have this foundation and the understanding that the body's an ecosystem, we then need to look at sequencing healing. And a lot of the time when clients come to me and I have conversations with women and different individuals, it's not just women, who are struggling with their health, it's very common for me to hear, I've tried everything. And it's such a common thing that we say, and I've said it myself. And what we mean when we say this is that we've tried all the resources that we have available to us. Because what we do when something becomes a challenge for us is we create our own toolkit with the resources that we have available. So when it comes to our health, we go to all the places that we can go to get support. So we'll go to our doctor and get support and advice from them. We might get medication, we might get referred on for tests and other things down that route. We also look at maybe changing our diet, our sleep, our exercise. We might start to do yoga, we might start meditation, we may go for more regular massage, we may commit to seeing a reflexologist or an acupuncturist, we may go and see an osteopath. There's so many things that we can find to put into our toolkit. And we go and find everything that we know that is available to us. We put it into our toolkit, we try it out, and then if it doesn't work, we feel like we've tried everything. And it can be really depleting. And what's happening here is that even though we're doing all the right things, we're not sequencing the healing in the right way. So the things that we're doing aren't having the longevity in terms of results. And this is where understanding how to sequence healing through working with the body, understanding the intelligence of the body and the systems of the body comes to its power. Like, this is where, when you understand how to approach healing in the body, this is where the power is in terms of being able to support the body to do what she needs to do in order to create that balance and to create an environment where regeneration and healing is possible. And the process that I use to support healing in the body is called the hierarchy of healing. Now, obviously, the word hierarchy means that something is of more importance or of a higher status than something else. So with the hierarchy of healing, we have the understanding that some systems in the body are of more importance than others when it comes to healing. Hence the name hierarchy of healing. Now, for the sake of this podcast episode, I am going to be focusing on the top 3 levels, the top of the hierarchy of healing. And I'm just going to focus on these 3 levels because they're the most important, and I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information in one episode. So there is an image that I have of, a visual of the hierarchy of healing, which I will put into the show notes. I'll copy a link for it into the show notes so you can have a look at that, and also in my community as well. And the interesting thing about the top 3 layers of this hierarchy of healing is that they actually make up your immune system. So again, this is another reason why I've decided to focus on these 3 for this episode. So we've got, right at the top, we've got the brain. Beneath the brain, we've got the lymphatic system. And beneath the lymphatic system, we have the gut. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of each of these levels so you can have, start to build an understanding as to why these 3 levels are so important and why we would want to start the process of addressing healing in this way. So, firstly, looking at the brain. The brain's job is to keep us alive. If our brain stops working, we stop living. And in order to keep us alive, it needs to keep us safe. And that's where our nervous system comes in. Our nervous system is constantly trying to keep us safe and has different responses to different situations. Now, ideally, we want to be in a parasympathetic nervous system state of rest and digest, because when the body's in this space, it's able to as it says on the tin, rest and digest. So it's able to get rest, get sleep, be able to regenerate and refuel. And when it's digesting, it's able to literally digest and receive the nutrients that the body is being given. Now, there's also the fight or flight nervous system response and the freeze or fawn. And when we're in these nervous system responses, i.e. not in rest or digest, the body isn't able to option functionally because it's nerved up, it's stressed, it's anxious, it's creating this resistance within the body, which is having an impact on every other system and not allowing for things to be able to be flowing and regenerating in the way that needs to happen. So being able to support the nervous system is a huge part of starting to let the body heal. And also your nervous system is in control of your pain response, how you perceive pain in the body. So if you are in a lot of pain, if you are someone struggling with physical pain, again, when your body's in pain, it's not in its best space. You can't rest, you can't digest, you can't sleep, you can't do all the things that, anybody who's been in a chronic pain, who's been experiencing chronic pain, it's just exhausting. And we know that when we're in that space, nothing is able to come of it that is good. So what we can do when we're supporting the brain is we can work with our nervous system to get into that space of rest and digest, and in essence switch off our pain response. And we can do this through activating our vagus nerve. And I'm going to do a separate episode on the vagus nerve because she deserves it. She's flipping fantastic. But what you need to know about the vagus nerve in terms of the hierarchy of healing and supporting the brain is that she is the body's off switch. So she can switch on the body's rest and digest to get you into that parasympathetic nervous system of everything being calm, the body feeling safe, and getting your body into a place where she can thrive and function and relax and just feel amazing. And activating the vagus nerve is also going to help you switch off your pain response. It's going to help you reduce your stress and your anxiety, and it's just going to get you into that place that you need to be in order to function fully. So working with the vagus nerve is a really powerful tool for supporting the brain. And how we work with the vagus nerve, and like I said, I'm going to do a separate episode on this, so I won't go into it too much, but we can use breath work, we can use self-massage, self-touch, to help stimulate and activate our vagus nerve and get us into that beautiful rest and digest nervous system response. The other way we can support the brain is through rewiring our thoughts and our feelings, and we can do this through hypnosis and guided visualization, through meditation, through affirmations, and lots of tools you can use to help change your thoughts and feelings and your emotions into ones that are much more healing and calming and relaxing. So if you're someone who struggles to relax, if you have anxiety, if you're always thinking the worst and you have these negative narratives around your head about what's happening to you, then being able to change that is a really powerful way to support the brain. And there's lots of other ways we can support the brain as well. There's through music and sound therapy and so much. But starting with the brain, getting the body to feel safe, getting it relaxed and getting it to a space where it is open and ready to start to regenerate and heal is right at the top of the hierarchy of healing. And then moving down to the lymphatic system. So you all know I love the lymphatic system. It is my favourite system of the body. And again, I could talk forever about it. I am going to do further episodes about the lymphatic system. I'm in the process of working on a really cool program as well, which I'm really excited to share with you all. But what you need to know in terms of understanding the hierarchy of healing is that the lymphatic system is your body's detoxification system. What it does is it removes all waste, so anything that's not serving your body, waste, toxins, from your body, and helps nutrients to come in. Now, a lot of the time, you have a stagnant lymphatic system. Many people do, and when the lymphatic system becomes too stagnant, it results in a build-up of toxins and all the bad stuff that we don't want in the body. So when inflammation, toxins, etc. build up, we start to get disease, we start to get pain, we start to get symptoms of the body being unhappy. So having the lymphatic system working and functioning, flowing properly and being able to remove the toxins from the body is key, because it's common sense. If you're full of toxins, then you're not going to be a healthy person. If you are able to fully remove the toxins that are coming in and keep a healthy environment within you, then you're onto a winning streak. And I like to think of it as a fish tank, in a tropical fish tank, and the pump. So if you think of a beautiful, colourful, clear, tropical fish tank that's got a really healthy filter going, and all the fish are thriving and everything's flowing and everything's vibrant and full of life. And then if you compare it to if that fish tank was to have a problem with its filter, or if its filter was to stop working or to not get changed, you would start to gradually have a build-up of like slime and algae and murky water. And the longer that filter's left not functioning properly, the more grimy and dingy that tank's going to get, and eventually things in it are going to start dying and nothing's going to be able to thrive until you start to get that pump going again and things being filtered. So the really important thing about your lymph system is that it's everywhere. You have lymph absolutely everywhere, apart from your nails and your hair. So it's really important that you look after it. And there is some views, I've listened to some podcasts, I've read a few little articles that actually argue, or have put the argument forward, should I say, that the lymphatic system is your immune system, because it is just literally responsible for getting rid of all those nasties. So it's a really big player in the immune system and in the hierarchy of healing. And as the lymphatic system is everywhere, it's also in your brain. So a third of the lymph nodes in your body are in your head and neck, which means that they are draining toxins from your brain, which is at number 1. So if toxins like plaque and inflammation build up around the brain are being removed by the lymphatic system, you're going to have a happy brain, which means the top of your hierarchy is happy, which is always a good thing. And moving into the gut at number 3, and sticking with the lymphatic system as well, you have so much lymphatic in your gut, and around your abdomen, your abdominal viscula, there's lots and lots of lymphatic nodes and parts of your lymphatic system there. So there's a really strong example here as to how all of the systems in the body are interconnected. So the lymphatic system excites me because it's just such a good example of how amazing and intelligent the body is, and a really good example of how it interplays with all the other systems as well. So number 3, we've got the gut, and with the gut, many of you will have heard of the science, the belief, the understanding that the gut is the second brain, and there is so much research ongoing around the link between the gut and the brain and how they talk to each other. And there's research that suggests that the gut speaks to the brain more than the brain speaks to the gut. So again, so much to still learn about that. And it's just really exciting, isn't it, that the body is this amazing. And sorry, I should have said, your gut is everything from your mouth hole to your bum hole. So if you think about the journey that your food takes, your gut is allowing you to receive, it's the source of all your nutrients from the food that you drink, your hydration from the water, the fluids that you put into your body. It impacts directly with so many other organs and systems of the body, and it's the system for not only getting nutrients in but also getting waste out through your poop. And again, so much to be said about the gut. I am going to be doing separate episodes about it because there's just so much to talk about. But there's your gut microbiome as well, which is a huge player in your health. And there's also, if you've got leaky gut syndrome, then your body's not able to absorb nutrients, you're creating inflammation, and all sorts of things are going on there. So gut health is hugely important, and there is so much talk about gut health at the moment. So many different supplements and cleansing systems and supplementation. There's all sorts. There's so much about gut health, and it is so important that you look after your gut in a full and meaningful way. And lots of us struggle with our guts as well. And I'm thinking in particular of IBS. Lots and lots of women that I speak to have had a diagnosis of IBS. A lot of the women who have autoimmune conditions or are suffering with endometriosis. Again, detoxification, like constipation, having regular bowel movements is a real issue for them. So when we're looking at the lymphatic system and getting rid of waste from the body, if you are not regularly going to the toilet, and when we poo, we are removing waste from our bodies, then we have an issue. So having a healthy gut, not only to bring nutrients in, but also to get waste out, is a huge part of supporting the body as well. So those are the top 3 levels of the hierarchy of healing, and I've just gone over them there in real brief detail, and I am going to do so much more about all of these stages. I've actually ran a 12-month program called the Happy Gut Club, all about the gut, and just had so much to talk about in that. So if you're in my community, you're going to get to know all about that as well. Oh, just got so much to share, guys. But I'm going to leave it there for today, because I think that's a really nice place for us to end. So let's recap over what we've talked about today. We've talked about how we need to start to potentially question some of the things that we have been told or that we have come to believe about our bodies and how they work. And we've learned and understood. Oh, the dogs are barking. I don't know if you can hear them. Tom's coming home from work, so they'll all be shouting at him. That's Monty and Waffle. Yeah, we've looked at how we need to respect the body as an ecosystem, and that no system in the body ever works alone, gets injured alone, or heals alone. And we've looked at how we can sequence healing using the hierarchy of healing to support the body fully in creating homeostasis and, starting to regenerate itself and heal and thrive. So just join me right now in taking a moment to just take a nice deep breath. So whatever you're doing, just taking in a really nice rich breath. And releasing. We have covered a lot in this episode, and as I said at the beginning, I hope that you have got some value out of what I have had to share with you today. And I want to end the episode by reaching out for you to connect. So I've already invited you to join the next VTB Connection Circle. And also, I would love it if you would ask me any questions that you have. I would love to do some episodes answering your questions or sharing your thoughts and feelings about what I'm sharing with you in this podcast. As I keep saying, we are changing narratives. We are part of a community, a movement. You are part of the Vagina Truth Bomb community by listening to this podcast and supporting me. And I really love and appreciate you for that. So I would love to hear from you. And the ways that you can connect with me will be in the show notes. And what I'm opening up now, which I'm really excited about, is I'm opening up the opportunity for you to come and join me for a virtual cuppa. So again, the links will be in the show notes. You can come and book 30 minutes with me. So if anything in this episode or any of the episodes is resonating with you and you want to continue the conversation around what I'm sharing, maybe you've got your own story that you'd like to share with me, or maybe you just want to connect with somebody and have a chat. I'm here, I'm available. I love drinking tea, I love listening, I love talking. So if you feel called for whatever reason to reach out and book a connection chat, just with a cuppa and a chat, then let's do it. The link will be in the show notes. and I will be opening up different availability every week. So really excited to offer this to you. And as I've said, any questions you've got, please reach out to me at my email, which is in the show notes, amy@vaginatruthbomb.com. And I just want to send you so much love, and whatever you are doing today, whatever stage of the day you are at listening to this, have a fabulous day. Remember that you are absolutely amazing and you rock. Lots of love, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Vagina Truth Bomb, the podcast. It is a real honour to have you listening. I would love to hear your thoughts, feelings and takeaways from this episode, and you can share them with me via the VTB community, which is accessible through my website, vaginatruthbomb.com. You can also share them via social media platforms, making sure that you tag me so that we can connect. All of my social media links are in my show notes. I would really love and appreciate it if you could help me in growing my audience by sharing this podcast with others who you think it will interest, or adding a screenshot to your stories and tagging me so I can send you some love back. Also, if you subscribe, follow and review the podcast on the platform you're listening to, this will be a huge help too. Have a beautiful day, and I will catch you in the next episode. Much love, Amy.